Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Thursday the 5th of December. Today we'll start with Google or Alphabet C share. Well, actually both of them moved higher yesterday around 1.8%. I had a very good day. And it could resume uptrend here. You can see we are still in a positive sentiment on the RSI on the daily chart. We are above the cloud. Just zoom in a little bit. And I think we could see it pushing higher towards the 184, 185 levels here, where we have some strong resistance going into towards the Christmas. On the weekly chart, well, it also looks fairly good. There's actually no divergence on the RSI. We are in a positive sentiment. We are in a bullish trend despite this massive divergence here. Correction here. And if it takes out the 184, well, then there's potential higher to test the all-time highs. Another stock that was on the move yesterday and helped lifting the market was Nvidia, up 3.3% almost. Fairly good day. If it can get back above a 60 threshold here on the RSI, which I believe it could, or it can, and above the upper falling trend line, well, then there's potential higher to take out the, or at least test the previous all-time high here at just below 153. If it takes out that, well, then there's potential higher towards 160. So as long as this 131.60 support here is holding up, it stays above that, then there is potential higher for Nvidia in the coming days and weeks towards year end going into the new year. This despite the fact there's massive divergence, as you can see, the declining RSI there. And if we add the volume indicator, we can also see that you see how it's not the buying that really pushing up. It's just there's no one selling at the moment. We can see it's really declining here. These volume amounts here really declining. So there's no sellers basically. And finally, let's have a look at Tesla. Tesla has is very close to take out this bearish engulfing here. I think it will do it next couple of days. There is a little bit divergence on the RSI. You can see the RSI values declining, but we are pushing higher here, and this is a higher level. I think we can take it out. If it does that, well, then we have room up to around 384. Let's also have a look at some of the Danish shares that are on the move at the moment. We have Novo Nordisk, the weight loss producer or manufacturer, the pharmaceutical company. It is indicating here pre-market about 2% down, but it's not opening yet. It will take another minute or so. We are testing the resistance here, minor resistance here, just below 782. Breaking this falling channel here, or falling wedge-like pattern. It is still unfolding this shoulder-like pattern, as we can see, but it could be bouncing off this 100 moving average, bouncing from the 700 level. And now the market has opened. We are opening only 1.4% lower, so that would be key. If it takes out this little area here and the spike up there to 789.40, well, then we could see a move higher towards 825, 875 level next towards the year end. But for now, it's still struggling. We are in a downtrend, but it could be breaking out. It has broken out of this falling wedge, but the key is we'll drop back into it, and then the RSI is really key here. At first, it has been rejected at 60. It needs to close above that level. Another one that is struggling in the Danish or Copenhagen Stock Exchange is the Vestas Wind that has seen some changes in the management and sell-off, massive sell-off yesterday, bouncing a little bit this morning here. Let's zoom in. We are in a negative sentiment. There is a bit divergence, but it looks fairly bad for Vestas Wind, and we have to go back all the way to 2020 to see same levels or similar levels, just around 94, and then we have to go back even further for that. So really a monumental sell-off, but that has hit all the alternative energy shares. On the general index in US, the big markets, we have them all pushing higher yesterday's session. We have the S&P 500 reaching 138.2 projections, just above 6,080, very close to 6,100 here yesterday, as we could see. So really strong move indeed. And I think it will continue. The RSI has cancelled its divergence, so there's no divergence there, indicating likely higher levels. We have a Nasdaq 100 also pushed higher yesterday, of course helped with by Nvidia, and helped by Tesla, and helped by Alphabet and a few others, of course. And we are now reaching the 138 projection of this corrective move here, and that nice gap up there, and no divergence on the RSI, indicating a strong march towards 22,000 in the coming days and weeks. Of course, there will be some corrections, but still a very strong move. The Dow Jones lagging a little bit, but also up yesterday 0.7%, and has closed for the first time above 45,000, and I think it will push higher towards 45, 400, 500 here in the coming days. Of course, we are waiting for a market report Friday that really can make a dent in this bullish scenario, but I don't think it will reverse it. But we could see a correction kicking in, or it could even be fueled higher. On the European markets, EUROSTOXX 50, we have EUROSTOXX 50 that closed above 4,900, above the resistance here, and just above the 200 moving average here. Pre-market we indicated just a tad higher, and if we can get the RSI also to close above 60 threshold, you can see it's just below it, and we can get the index to close above the cloud, well, then it's back in bullish mode, and I think we will get there. We have this very strong bounce. We are above 55 moving average. We are above the 100 moving average. Here we can see that the futures / the CFD just stopped at the 786 retracement. And I think it will push higher. Also here we have, that's the RSI actually above the 60 threshold as we speak, so it is fairly strong for EUROSTOXX 50. And the DAX is actually the driver of all this. That's been very strong lately after breaking above this falling trend line here. It never got below the cloud. The RSI has been it has broken above its falling trend line, about to cancel its divergence, likely pushing higher towards 20,300, 20,500. Pre-market unchanged. CAC 40, and there's a lot of turmoil going on in France at the moment, with the government has been forced to step down, so that's a little bit of an uncertainty going on there. So it seems like that's the case around Europe. We closed just above 7,300 yesterday. I think we could push higher. We indicated about 0.25% higher this morning, and if we can get back above 73.41, well, then we could see a push up to 7,500 to maybe towards the year end. The forex markets, currencies, they've been fairly muted the past few days. Euro dollar still caught in this range between 108.25 and 106 and a change. It really needs to break out for direction. If it breaks out bearish, well, then we are looking at 102.40, maybe lower. Again, we probably have to wait until tomorrow, Friday, for direction after the market report. The sterling dollar cable here, likely to test the 125.50 resistance. If it takes that out, well, then we are looking at 128.34, which is 61.8 retracement, and the 200 moving average coming here. There is a possibility to take it all the way up to the 786, but then I think if it does that, then that's it, depending on the RSI, what it will do. But we can see here we actually have a bearing. We have a death cross taking the 55 moving average below the 100. So that is indicating bearish trend, underlying bearish trend. The euro sterling pushing lower towards the 82.60, once again just above 82.70. If it takes out 82.60, well, then we are looking at 82 levels and possibly lower. Dollar yen bounce, well, it didn't bounce that much really. It didn't even get up to the 38.2 retracement. Let's zoom in a little bit here at 151.74. Can still do it, but we are in a bearish trend with negative sentiment, no divergence, likely to push lower if we close below 149.40. And I will say if it takes out the trough down here at 148.64, well, then we are looking at 147.20, possibly lower. The euro yen, if it can come up, there we are. So euro yen rejected 158.56. No divergence on the negative sentiment on the RSI. I still think we could see it testing 155, the previous lows here back from September and August. But again, if it takes out 158.60, the spike up there, then we are looking at 160 and a change, 160.20, possibly a little bit higher. The Aussie yen lower, and I think it will reach the 95.5 and possibly lower here in the coming days. It really needs to get back above 98, then we could see it at 99. But as you can see, all moving average declining, indicating or suggesting that the underlying trend is bearish. Sterling yen has bounced quite strongly before it actually reached the 786 retracement here. Could push up to 192.60, which is 38.2 retracement, and then I think it will resume downtrend if it gets up there. We are below the cloud with negative sentiment, no divergence on that, and very strong overhead resistance with the moving averages declining. Aussie dollar. Well, Aussie dollar pushed lower, but now it's trying to get back above this 64.40. We are negative sentiment on the RSI, but there is this divergence, as you can see here. Just adjusting this, we can see there's divergence. However, we are in a bearish trend, and I think we will see it pushing lower towards 63.60 here in the coming days. We do have the dollar Canada. Well, could push towards the or test the 141 again if it does close above. I actually think if it just breaks above, then we'll see another push higher towards 142 once again. Key question: will it stay above? Will it still be a spike up? If it can stay above, and if we can get the RSI back above its falling trend line there, well, then we could see a push higher towards 142. Sterling Canada has pushed higher overnight yesterday and also overnight above its 61.8 retracement, 178.95. Currently just around the 55 moving average, just below the cloud area. If it can get into the cloud area, and if we can get the RSI to close above 60 threshold, well, then there's potential higher to 180, possibly higher, but it will be a little bit of a struggle. So it took out this 178.37 resistance area. We can see a spike up here, and now it really took it out, and I think we could see it push up there, but that will be key. Can it close above the cloud? Can it close above the 60 threshold on the RSI? You're almost falling asleep over the Euro Swiss, but there could be some movements. I think they are having a interest rate decision down there fairly shortly. I can't remember if it's today or tomorrow or early next week. But trading sideways, but that could break out if there's some really surprise from the Swiss National Bank. Again, below 92.70, we could see a push to 92 and lower. I favor that, but I'm not invested in Euro Swiss at all. So, or it could take out the spike up there at 93.63. Well, if it takes out that, well, then we are looking to test the upper falling trend line. If it breaks above that, well, we're looking at 94.50. The dollar Swiss, not much move either, or not that much. Still in this range here, above the 88, just below there, 87. That spike down. If it's taking out, well, then I think we'll see a sell-off down to around 87. If it takes out these peaks up here at just around 89, I think we'll see a test of a 90 level. And finally, when we're talking about FX, well, we have the dollar index also trading a little bit sideways. and I think I will remove this 38.2 here because it's just too cluttered to chart a bit. If we move back below the 106 again here, then we could see a drop to around the 105, which is 61.8 retracement. So it needs to keep up there if you are long the dollar index. Moving on to gold, also trading sideways again. That could be in a wait and see position until the market report from US tomorrow. I think, or is it today? Can't remember. Sorry about that. The US job report that could really give it some direction. The RSI is in a negative sentiment, didn't get back above 60 threshold, and that will be key if it starts pushing higher here above 26.77. I think that will materialize, but it really needs to close above 27.21, and then if it does that, well, then I think it will have its eyes set on 3,000, and I think actually that will happen next year, and we can look at that later on here towards Christmas and year end. 2600 support area for gold. Silver is struggling a little bit to break this 31.55 resistance. If it does that and can get above the 55 moving average, then there's potential higher, but we also need the RSI back above 60 threshold. But it will be a good start for a bullish push to get above these two levels here, 31.55. Copper is slowly putting a little bit of an uptrend together. You can see breaking above 418, spiked above spiked up to the 100 moving average, and still slowly crawling higher. There's some resistance here around 429, 430. That could be a hard nut to crack. We could test it. The key will be, can we get RSI above 60 threshold? That will support a further upside potential towards 438, 439. On the energy side, not much to say. We still have crude oil range bounding, so I think I will just skip very quickly over that. You can see the range here, 72, 88, 66, 72 on the WTI Brent Crude oil. A little bit different, obviously, but still same picture, 70, spot 72, 76, 32. On the Dutch TTF gas, on the other hand, there's some interesting development going on. We have this potential double top-like pattern here, a very short term, and we have this, what we call a kind of an abandoned baby. Normally it should be a lone higher, but still abandoned baby. You see it closed there, and then it gapped lower. So that will be key. Can it close that gap back again and push towards the previous peak, or will it take out the support, minor support here at 45.86, which is the valley of this double top-like pattern? If it does that, then the key support at 43.96 could be tested, and that will then be key what's going on there. So keep an eye on that if you are a Dutch gas trader. Henry Hub gas in the US, a little bit different, already in a correction phase, trading around the 38.2 retracement of the entire uptrend here, and then the support at just above $3 could bounce. If it doesn't close below $3, well, then we could bounce higher. If it does close below $3, I actually think if we take it out once again, well, there's potential down to 275. US 10-year Treasury yield tried to bounce from the just above the 415 support area, 414, 415. We have the 55 moving average coming up. Still positive sentiment on the RS, so that will be key here for the next couple of days. What will play out on the US 10-year yields? Can it get back above 433, 435? If it can close back above that, well, then we are likely to see a test of the really strong resistance at 450 and key level there. If it takes out 414, well, then we could see it down to around 4%. So the next couple of days could really be decisive for the US 10-year, and also the 2-year that is very close to test the 406 support and the 38.2 retracement here at 402. So that will also be key. Key is also the RSI is testing the 440 threshold at the moment. EuroBund future EuroBund future, I think will push higher towards the previous peaks here, just around 136.20, 136.28. Around this level, very strong resistance indeed. But I think we could attest that. The key question will it break it or not, or be sent back? Finally, on the UK gilts, well, the UK gilts is still in a bullish trend. I think it could push higher towards the 97 level. There is potential for it. RSI is telling me that we could see that there's no divergence, indicating likely higher levels here towards 97, and then it's probably it. And now Bitcoin finally broke above 100,000, and that with a bang, and it is pushing. Oops, sorry about that. Let's get it back to here. And that's really a massive move. So where can it go to? Well, it's of course always hard to quantify, but we could try to do it, indicating higher levels towards. Let's get rid of this here, and we could see where it could potentially push to. Well, we are looking at levels. We already reached the 138.2 projection at 103,365, and I think we could see a push up to 109,000. The Ethereum also pushing higher, currently testing resistance area here just around 3,900. I think we'll see it pushing higher towards the 40,100. There's divergence on the R side, both for Ethereum and Bitcoin, but trust the trend, and it is pushing higher for now. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and talk to you again tomorrow.